Your masculine energy built your whole life. And now your feminine energy has to save it. Because the hustle, the control, the I'll do it myself, that armor you've been calling strength, that's the exact reason you're so tired. And you're not tired because you're weak. Let's get that out the way right now. You're tired because you spent years performing a man's energy just to survive in a world that punished you every time you were soft. Here's the part that might sting a little though. So stay with me. It worked. That's the trap. The masculine energy got you the career, the independence, the respect, the whole I don't need anyone. And here's the hard truth nobody says out loud. The world does not reward women for being whole. It rewards us for being useful. And somewhere along the way, you confuse being needed with being valued. They're not the same thing at all. One fills the room when you walk in, and the other, it empties you out. Everyone else stays full. But before I go any further, I need to tell you what this is. Because this isn't just a video, it's the beginning of a whole season. And I'm calling it Become Her. And here's what I want for us this summer. I want us to have a hot, rich girl summer. And I don't mean the cheap way. I mean the summer where we get rich. Rich in self, rich in peace, rich in presence, in money that is ours, and a life that finally feels like ours. A summer where you stop surviving life and start savoring it. This season, we become her, the woman we were always meant to be, the one underneath the armor. Together, all summer long. So, this is episode 1, and we start the thing that's been quietly draining you. So, honestly, just to yourself, why does winning feel like exhaustion? Why does the life you built, the one you fought so hard for, feels like a shift you just can't click out of? It's the softening on purpose. You can give. Oh Lord, you can give. You pour into everybody and everyone. You hold the space, you carry the weight, you fix it, you fund it, you handle it. You remember everybody's everything. You're the one people call when it all falls apart. And let me go deeper. Because one's the truth under the truth. Nobody hands you a trophy for being the woman everybody depends on. The reward for being indispensable is just more. More calls, more needing, more taking. Until one day you wake up and realize, quietly, that you've become the emergency contact for everybody else's life while disappearing from your own. But watch what happens when somebody tries to give to you. You deflect. Oh, I'm fine. Don't worry about me. You don't got to worry about me. Somebody offers help and you have already said no before they even finish their sentence. Somebody pays you a compliment and you hand it right back. Oh, this old thing? You so sweet. But you can't even let a kind word land before returning the serve. That's not humility. I really need you to hear me. That is not humility. That's the armor. And I'm going to say the thing nobody says. Some of you are not even generous. You're avoiding intimacy because giving keeps you in control. It means nobody ever gets close enough to disappoint you. Look, receiving is the one that requires trust. And trust is the exact thing your armor was built to keep out. Receiving means letting something in. Something that you did not earn. Something you did not control. Something you did not produce with your own two hands. And control was the whole reason you survived, though. So, of course, you flinch from it. Of course, taking feels more dangerous to you than giving ever did. I know it does for me. But giving keeps you in charge. Receiving makes you vulnerable. And you learned a long time ago that vulnerable was not safe. We all learned that. Somewhere back in elementary school. So here's the only thing it costs, though. A woman who only gives and never receives, she's depleted. She's running a whole empire on an empty tank and calling it strength, discipline. You cannot pour from a cup you won't let anybody fill. And learning to receive, letting the help in, letting love in, letting a compliment in, just land instead, that's not indulgence. That is the healing. That is the rusted wheel finally turning again. The first time you let somebody hold something for you and the world does not end, that's the exact moment the exhaustion, it starts to lift. It disappears. Not because you did more, but because you finally let yourself be poured into. The whole thesis of this whole thing, and the line I want you to tattoo on your ribs. You were taught that soft and powerful are opposites. That to be taken seriously, that you have to be hard, guarded, untouchable. That the second you let anybody see the soft underbelly, they'll go straight for it. And that lie, that one lie, will cost you your aliveness. It will cost you your presence. It cost you years of your life saying you were fine when you were starving. It cost the ability to be touched by your home life. So let me draw this line to you really precisely, because it will be the most important thing I say to you all day. There are two softness. And from the outside, they look identical. The first one is the softness of a woman who has no choice, who softens because she's afraid not to, who yields because somewhere she stopped believing she's allowed to even take up space. That is not softness. That is submission. Wearing softness as a disguise. You were right to run from that one. But the second softness, the softness of a sovereign woman, the woman so rooted in her own power, she can afford to be soft. The one who can want, receive, and open on her own terms and lose absolutely nothing. Who softens not because she's weak, but because she is strong enough. That softness doesn't threaten her anymore. The hard woman softens because she's afraid not to. The sovereign woman softens because she chooses to. And she can close that right back up the very instant she wants to. That door has a lock, and she is the only one with the key. The armor is fear. Chosen softness is power. And you don't have to earn it. You don't have to be productive enough, or healed enough, or accomplished enough to finally deserve to set the weight down. Softness was never the reward at the end of all that work. It's your birthright. It always was. You just forgot the door was yours to open. So now, the last one. And it's the thing that a lot of you try to bury deepest of all, underneath even the desire. It is the right to want someone. You were taught that wanting a partner when you've built a whole life on your own is kind of a failure and a mission, but that the strong woman is supposed to be complete by herself. And to want more is to confess the independence was never quite enough. So now I'm going to say the thing that accomplished women are terrified to say out loud. Because I'm accomplished, but I want a partner. I need a partner. Not because I am incomplete. I've proven to do it alone 1,000 times over. That question got answered for me years ago. Because doing it alone was never the dream, not for me. It was the contingency plan I mistook for a personality. I want to be poured into the way I pour into everyone else. I want someone who can hold the weight of the whole woman, the powerful one, the sharp one, the one who runs the room, and still soften for me. And still stay. Now, hear me on this one, because this is the change that is going to set you free. Wanting love is not desperation. Listen to the difference. Desire from emptiness says completely, I'm not enough by myself. I'm not enough on my own. But desire from sovereignty says I am already whole. And I'm choosing now to share it. One is a whole. The other is an overflow. The first woman chases love, friendships, and frightens it off. The second woman is magnetic to it because she's wanting from fullness, not from lack. And that right there is what vulnerability actually is. Not weakness, not exposure. Vulnerability is the sovereign act of just simply saying, I want this. Out loud, in a world that told you wanting would be used against you, is the most powerful feminine thing you will ever do. So stop pretending you don't want it. Pretending you don't want love and friendships and relationships does not make you strong. It makes you lonely with extra steps. So ladies, if this stirs something in you, if you felt that ache, the one a woman feels when she's been out of touch with herself for a long time, I want you to have some way to put it. I made something exactly for this moment. It's called the Intentional Beauty Journal. And don't let the name fool you. That's it right there. It's not a beauty journal. It's where you're going to meet yourself again to remember what you want, what you feel, what you've been too strong to admit that you need. That practice I gave you earlier, wanting something out loud on paper where nobody can talk you out of it, this is where you do it. And it is linked in the description. You were never meant to choose between your power and your softness, between your independence and wanting, between the woman who built it all and the woman who finally gets to enjoy it. You were meant to be whole. One woman. I'm Soriah Nikole, and this is your reminder. You were never meant to be the one who can take it. You were meant to be the one who is held. So stand up straight, ladies, adjust your crown, and let yourself be soft. Now tell me one word, the thing you've been too strong to admit that you want. Drop it in the comments. I am reading every single one. And then go put that somewhere that counts. Oh, and ladies, I made you a free page, the first page of your Renaissance. So it's the first link inside the description. Comment your word and then go claim your page. That's day one. This is episode 1. And the Renaissance has begun.
But somewhere along the road, I felt the shift. The days turned happy like an unseen rift. The girl that I was began to fade.